Scientifically speaking, we're sharing the view. From labs to clinics, breakthrough shining through, with minds that inspire and stories to unfold. Scientifically speaking.
Welcome back to Scientifically Speaking with Christine on Oz Arab Media, where we cover the science behind today's most pressing health concerns. Before we start, allow me to give a huge shout out to Laurent, who takes care of my hair every episode. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects almost everyone, sleep deprivation. And nearly 4 in 10 Australians report not getting enough sleep, and the ripple effects are enormous, from mood swings and memory lapses to increased risk of chronic disease. Joining me once again is Renee Bechara, an accredited practicing dietitian and diabetes educator with a passion for holistic wellness. She's here to help us unpack why sleep is now considered a pillar of public health and what can we do to protect it. Renee, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here again. And,
of course.
I'm sure our viewers liked our last episode, so I'm sure they're going to love this episode.
And that's why you're here again today. We had amazing feedback from our first one, and we decided to give more.
Thank you.
All right, so let us start with the basics about sleep deprivation. Renee, if you don't mind, how does sleep really impact our brain and body's health?
Can I start by saying I love your hair,
by the way?
Thank
you.
And you're
Look at that.
And you're looking fantastic. I've noticed you've lost a bit of weight
since
our last episode.
I'm following your advice. Yes. Go ahead.
So I guess when it comes to sleep is so important. And let's break down what is sleep. So it's when a person's state of consciousness and responsiveness becomes temporarily reduced. So when you are sleeping, your body is still, but your brain is actually still active. So you're in that sort of state.
Sleep, no sleep moment.
Yeah. And it's when our body is taking the time to restore itself.
Right.
We've heard about the stages of sleep, so the REM and the NREM. I'm not going to go into them too much today, but I think to answer the question, why is sleep important for our brain and our body? So in the time that we're sleeping, it's a time to repair and regenerate our tissues. The time when our brain sort of stores and reconsolidates all those memories that we've sort of had. Supports our cognitive abilities such as our attention, learning, problem solving, regulates our emotions, our mood, and just our overall well-being. It's important to keep our immune system strong as well.
Wow.
Keep your vessels healthy and also controls your appetite and your weight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting how something related to the brain is that much affecting our food and daily lives. So thanks for that breakdown, Renee. Tell me, in your experience, what are some common modern day barriers to the quality among the Australians that asleep, if we can say that?
Okay, so some modern day barriers.
Yes.
Where do we start?
Oh my God, here we go again.
Here we go again, exactly. I think that's going to be my motto. So we've got a lot of things. So some barriers include stress as your common issue.
Yeah.
Overthinking. That's a common thing I see anecdotally in my patients. Caffeine, poor food choices.
Wow.
Gut issues, if you've got children coming and affecting, your sleeping pattern or interrupting you overnight. Pain, our phones, being on our phones or sort of technology before bed. A lot of people also who are lonely or isolated sort of get impacted because, they're thinking and just, a lot of things going on through, their mind. Physical inactivity, shift work as well. Staying in contact with relatives overseas, so that also can be a barrier to sleeping well.
So are we talking about the emotional status or the time difference?
Both.
Kind of? All right.
Both.
All right.
So some of my patients are also staying awake to make sure that they can talk to their family.
Oh, yes, time difference.
As well, but they will do that on a nightly basis.
Oh, so now it disrupts really the routine.
Yeah, it does.
Interesting.
if you're traveling regularly, sleep apnea, quality of your bed, the weather, if you've got
Seriously,
aircon.
where do we start from?
Exactly. I've got a couple more. Medications, if you nap during the day, and obviously, if there's too much noise, or, if your partner snores as well.
Oh, yeah. Great. So let me go to my next question. Nutrition and sleep are now connected more than people really think. What dietary factors? You were talking about a lot of poor food choices and a lot of other things. And here we discover that really food is related to sleep. So what are the dietary factors that people that play a role in supporting a healthy sleep?
So there's a few that I will sort of mention now. So the first thing is really making sure that we are eating foods that are healthy.
Right.
And when we say that, it's about debunking or really making sure that we're not eating foods that are high in sugar, high in salt, that are not going to cause that sugar inconsistency or the insulin spike, and then sort of fluctuation in your blood glucose, which can then cause an impact overnight while your body's trying to restore. Also, very important to not eat too late at night. Okay, when we eat so late at night, yes, some people can't sleep if they don't have a full stomach. Fine, but if you're eating late at night, your body isn't going to have the chance to do its job, which I mentioned earlier, which is restore, regenerate. It's trying to break down that food and sort of keep your blood sugar levels at bay. So then your body's actually overworking to try and digest that
food,
stuff, while it should be doing its other job. Another thing...
And sorry to cut you off. Yeah. So during this process, we feel awake, or we feel pain and bloating and things like that. That would stop us to sleep. How does it work?
Yeah, so when you're overeating, you're probably going to feel that bloating feeling, that fullness, that irritability, that lethargy, and your body's overworking. So you may not be able to actually sleep.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
No, thank you. Also, another thing is obviously caffeine. So everyone reacts to caffeine very differently.
Yes.
So some people can drink caffeine right before they sleep and they're fine. I'm one of them.
Yes, me too. I'm coming to the next question, that's why,
Some people can't drink caffeine, they'll stop at 12 o'clock. But caffeine has been known to have an effect from half an hour up to 6 hours.
That was my question.
Yes.
So when you drink caffeine, it doesn't kick in straight away. It kicks in an hour, in 2, in 3, up to 6 hours.
Up to 6 hours.
Right. So you might drink your coffee at 2 p.m. and
correct.
Still not sleep at 8 p.m. because the caffeine is still active.
Exactly.
Man, I'm so resistant to that.
And we find that a lot in more of our older population because they can't tolerate the caffeine. At that. So they'll stop drinking caffeine by sort of 12. Then that way it's sort of out of their system, so then they can sleep. And we're even talking about tea, because tea does have caffeine in it as well.
All right. And can I ask, would sodas as well have as much caffeine as coffee?
Soft drinks, so your Cokes, and those do have caffeine in them. So yes, thank you for raising that point as well.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Just a few other things as well is to make sure that you're seeing your GP to make sure that your vitamins and your minerals are in check, because some vitamins can also interrupt your sleep. So one of them, for example, is vitamin B12. Anecdotally, a lot of my patients become numb overnight because of the vitamin D deficiency, so that can wake them up. Magnesium.
Yes, they don't take them at night, take them in the morning.
Yeah, well, it's really, everyone's a bit different with the magnesium, but if you're getting if you're low in magnesium or you're getting those cramps, that can then interrupt your sleep as well. So making sure that you're not deficient in the vitamins, so then you're not interrupted with your sleep.
Amazing. Very wise words here. Tell me, Renee, beyond food, what lifestyle interventions have you found are most effective in improving sleep hygiene, if I can say, or a clean sleep?
Yeah, so sleep hygiene, it's not about being clean before bed.
No, definitely not.
It's important to be clean before bed, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other thing. But sleep hygiene, we're referring to having a healthy environment to then be able to sleep.
Right.
So I guess in terms of your lifestyle interventions, so we're talking about things that are unique to every person. So looking at things such as, dimming the lights before going to bed, or, having no light exposure, prioritizing your sleep, having a bit of a mental status of when you're going to sleep and when you're going to wake up. Don't overnap. That's a big issue. So when you're napping during the day, that can interrupt your ability to sleep at night time. And if you can just nap endlessly, then there's probably something else, such as low iron or some sort of...
The more sleep, the better. That's not a good thing sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. Restrict your time in bed prior to sleeping as well. And, block out your noise and your light. Don't be on your sort of phones and TVs for about 60 minutes prior to sleeping.
Yes.
We all have a habit of jumping in bed.
I'm coming to that, Renee. I'm coming.
Yep, sorry.
You always... No, don't be sorry, but you always, throw those hard truths on me, and I have to take it in.
I'm sorry. And I guess the last thing is... Some people, really find calming scents, like lavender oil, a little bit sort of more soothing to sort of relax them, or before bed as well.
Amazing. So we're really talking more about creating an ambience for us to sleep, and that would help us to go into the deep sleep easier. Amazing. My next question would be to you, the technology. It is definitely disrupting our sleeps, and it's. I just want to know from a scientific background what's actually happening to our rhythm of sleep with the screen time and the artificial lights.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna have to bear with me on this one.
Take your time. Not really, but take your time.
Okay, so I think there's two factors, and you're talking about the circadian rhythm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got, before we get to there, we've got to start with melatonin.
Okay.
Okay, so melatonin is a hormone. It's produced by our brain. I'm not going to go into the science of it.
Okay.
And the amount that is produced by, I guess, what we classify as a bit of a master clock in our brain.
Right.
Okay, that melatonin, its production is reduced when there's bright light, and its production is increased when there's not much bright light.
Okay.
That's the way it works, just to sort of simply put it there for you.
Amazing.
When it comes to sleeping, the melatonin regulates the internal body clock cycle of sleep and being awake. So the melatonin is in charge of when are we sleeping and when are we waking.
So it's like it drips into our rhythm to sleep for a certain amount of time, and that time should all have no light or dim light, so that it actually functions.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I'm going to get to that. So the melatonin levels start to increase 2 hours before we sleep.
Okay.
And that's when we don't want to be exposing ourselves to the light. And then it would have known that we're going to sleep by its sort of, it knows, for the last couple of years how you've been sleeping. And then that's what sort of gets you into the mood to then sleep, reduces your body temperature, sort of does all of that thing. So then if we go into our circadian rhythm, so that's a whole nother section of sleeping. So that responds...
What's what did you call it?
The circadian rhythm.
Yes.
So it's a response to the change in your environment, which is about conserving energy, finding food, growing and healing.
All right.
So its job in our body, it regulates your sleep and wake patterns as well, your temperature, your immune system, your hormone, your metabolism, cognitive function. So how is it related to sleep? It's controlled by the clock as well, again, another clock in our brain. And then that sort of varies throughout the day. Light and dark are what keeps that rhythm going.
Yeah.
And then it's influenced by many, many different factors. So to answer the question of how is the technology impacting our sleep, because of the role of the melatonin and the circadian rhythm, the lights and the noise and the concentration on the phone is then impacting our body's understanding of the melatonin and the circadian
The regular
rhythm.
ticking of the clock is being disrupted.
Correct.
All right. Wow. What a complicated system, eh?
It is very, very complicated.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
And
And it's not only it's not only impacted by technology, but again coming back to your stress,
yes, having
your
kids at night
food,
that wake you up and all
of
that.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So why is sleep now called a public health issue? I mean, we all every time had this, I can't sleep well, I'm disrupted, things are changing, but now it's really being called a public health issue. Why, Renee? What has changed?
When I come on this show, I feel like I'm
Over talking? No, don't worry.
You really get the good questions.
Thank you.
So I think there's many factors to why it's become a public issue.
Right.
And we can sort of go on and on. I think the main sort of ones I'd point out is, again, coming back to the research has actually shown that 40% of Australians don't get enough sleep. That's a big
number.
Yeah.
Half of the Australians.
Of course, nearly.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly right. So then you've got people not sleeping. So that's because of lifestyle. Okay. It's becoming a bit more of a public issue because it's been shown that poor sleep increases risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease. It's also become a bit of a, if we're going to say public safety risk, that you're going to work or you're driving and you're not being able to function.
Deprivation is
properly.
putting you on
Exactly
the
right.
edge. Yeah.
Yep. And it's also becoming a bit of a public health priority towards getting that. It's going to hopefully be in line with, the other health
Mental
priority
health.
areas. Exactly,
Yeah,
diabetes,
wow.
all of those things. So I guess that's why it's becoming a little bit more of a public issue. And we are also becoming a bit of an aging population. And also stress and not exercising.
Wow.
It then reduces
They're
your
all
ability
so
to sleep.
connected, aren't they?
Yeah.
You have to eat properly, sleep well, work well, don't overwork, don't underwork. I mean, it's a lot to take
It is,
in
it is.
for a human being
Yes.
to stay up to date to everything. And now we come to a public health issue for sleep. That is a big one.
It is.
For people struggling with ongoing sleep issues, when should they seek for professional help and whom should they seek help from?
So I guess there's a couple of people in the healthcare team that we need to sort of be looking, or speaking to.
Right.
For me, I think anytime sleep becomes a problem, that you can't sleep for a couple of nights in a row, I'd be seeing your GP.
Okay.
Your GP would then be able to navigate, you to certain practitioners, so a dietitian, should you need to lose weight or eat healthier, exercise physiologist or physio if there's ongoing pain issues, and also weight loss through exercise physiologist.
Wow.
And then you've got things that, a lot of people actually don't recognise they have, but have sleep apnea.
Oh.
So that is needing to be referred to a sleep apnea clinic to then be tested for overnight. So a lot of my patients tell me they're still tired in the morning. They don't think that there's actually a concern. They'll go to the sleep apnea clinic. They have sleep apnea.
All right. For the last section, Renee, tonight, I'd love to do a little game, if I can say. I'd love to bust some myths. So if you don't mind, I'll be asking you or stating a few sleep-related statements and then tell us if it's true or false and maybe why.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So my first question to you, or the statement would be, you can catch up on sleep over the weekend. No big drama. So what do you say about that?
Oh, I wish that was the case. Look, that is a myth because you can't really catch up on sleep.
Right.
Because the short and the long-term damage from not sleeping has already been done. So it doesn't mean if you catch up on it, you're going to
repair it.
all of those.
That is very interesting. So, fellas, we are not a phone to charge whenever it's low, we have to constantly be charging, right? Maybe we can say that. Another one is exercising at night keeps you awake. So I don't want to do that at night. I want to do it in the morning.
This one, I don't want to say it is a myth or it's not, because everyone's a little bit different.
Right.
So some people actually respond better when they exercise at night.
Right.
And some people don't. So what it's got to do with the adrenaline that we are using and sort of making up while we're exercising. So for me, it's more of a individual sort of factor. So every person needs to just really assess what their body does.
Depends on their personal clock rather than a general clock.
Exactly right.
Amazing. Snoring is always harmless, so it's all right, just a noise around you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, look, I personally believe that snoring needs to be addressed because it can be an issue of something else. So is it the fact that you need to lose weight, which then is going to help with your sleep? Is there possibly sleep apnea going on? Is there something else in the throat or the nose that needs to be addressed that then can affect your quality of sleep as well? Right. And not only is it affecting your sleep, it's affecting those around you.
Oh, yes. Please tell me about it. Anyways, I have a little question here.
Yeah.
Do you feel when you snore, like when a person snores, do they feel it? Does it really affect their own sleep or is it just the people around them?
I believe from what I know, I don't think people know they snore up until it wakes them.
Ah, okay.
Yes, but then again, we've got things like when you're snoring, you're then possibly not getting enough oxygen as well. So then you might be waking up from that, which then might be falling into the sleep apnea category as well.
Very interesting. The next one, everyone needs 8 hours of sleep.
So there is actually a guideline for how many hours of sleep every stage of life needs. So off the top of my head, younger children need more. I believe it's about 10 to 11 hours a night. Sort of midlife, you need about 7 to 8, and then the elderly sort of need about, I believe, 6.
Yeah.
So not everyone needs 8, and especially younger kids need a bit more. But again, some people might not need the 8. So it is a bit of a myth, but it's also about looking at your internal clock.
So if I fall under the category of sleeping 8 hours average a night, and I don't sleep 8 hours a night, I sleep less, and I'm perfectly functioning, would that be all right? Because my own personal clock is ticking normally. Amazing. Maybe I'll go to the last one. Eating cheese before bed gives you nightmares. I love that one. My parents used to always tell me you have nightmares when you eat at night.
Okay. Well, if eating cheese before bed gives you nightmares, probably explains half my nightmares. No,
you love your cheeses.
Yeah. It's actually a old wives'
myth.
So there has not been any direct link between cheese and nightmares.
Yes.
Or overeating and nightmares.
Oh.
So there has not been a direct link.
Because I was going to say maybe it's not the cheese, it's the fruit.
Well, again, some people are dreamers as well, some people are not.
Right.
So there is actually no direct link. Yeah.
That is very, very interesting. Before we close, if there's one small change you recommend people to start doing from tonight to improve their sleep, what would it be?
Establish a sleep hygiene routine.
Amazing.
Yeah. So sleep hygiene is very important, and again, that's not about if you're cleaning yourself or whatever. It's about that environment, and what do you need to do to sleep well. So have a sleep hygiene routine.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Renee. I really, really, really appreciate your time with us today. It's always an insightful and practical conversation we have together. So you did really bring to us today that sleep is something we all need. It's not a luxury, it's a biological necessity. So we thank you for this one.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you to Oz Arab Media for having me on again.
Of course, no problem at all. And to everyone listening today, prioritize your rest. Your mind, body, and the future self will thank you. This was Christine on Scientifically Speaking on Oz Arab Media. Until next time.